Hey everybody, here we go. And get some quick Benny on here. Here we are. All right.
Presenting Benny Goodman and his music.
Hey Miles. Hey Daddy, Toddy, Timberly, Elaine, Mom, Geraldine, Tato, hey Luann, hey Sarah, hey everybody. Hey Marsha, hey Kathleen. Working from home today. It is cold outside and I'm trying to stay indoors a bit more. About froze on the zoo tours last night. Still managed to get out to do a patrol shift. Been reading the comments section lately? A lot of these people who think you should take an AR-15 to Baskin Robbins are big mad about people wearing whistles. I was feeling November kind of weather out there these days. Hey, Miles. There's a bit of Miles for you. Hey, Paula. And the Empress is right behind me here. Is that right, Ember? Yes, it is. I've been watching The Thin Man. Yeah, we are staying in today. But I'll move right on to it. I'm going to cover a bit of a story that I've been working on, trying to get my head over exactly what went on here, about a guy by the name of John Russell Jones, or Joseph Russell Jones, usually just known as J.R. Jones. This guy was a Galena Railroad man who was appointed the United States Marshal in 1861. Now, this is the time, as of 1861, the abolitionists in Chicago said that no fugitive slave had been arrested in the city in 8 years. That's probably an exaggeration, or at least nobody had been taken out. But in any case, shortly after he was inaugurated in April of 1861, a family was arrested and sent back to Missouri. Now, this was kind of shocking at the time. So, LCP Freer, who you see on a lot of the Graceland Cemetery tours, put out this ad to the Old Liberty Guard. The new United States Marshal is inaugurating a reign of terror among our colored population. Do you wish to take any step in the matter? If you do, you are invited to meet at my office Friday evening at 7:30 51 Clark Street. None but live men are invited. People like John Jones showed up for this. But unfortunately, one of the major things that they could do was get people who wanted to escape out to Canada. They weren't really sure how far that J.R. Jones was going to be going. There were all these rumors that he had made of an arrest in front of a lot of people, that he had already received a reward from slave catchers. And as the controversy swelled around and the Tribune just denounced him in the most vile terms, there was a conservative papers down in Springfield were saying things like, oh, now they're talking about disunity and anti-Americanism by aiding and abetting these fugitives. Owen Lovejoy had a pretty good line. Now, Owen Lovejoy was once accused of stealing slaves, and he said, yes, write it on every leaf that trembles in the forest, shout it from every rooftop. And in this case, he said that if they came out to Princeton, Illinois, he would shoot them as dogs. Now, later, Marshal Jones wrote a letter to the Tribune himself saying, this is all, I'm new at the job, they convinced me that I had to do this, there's no more thoroughly anti-slavery man than myself. I did the best I could to execute my job. I would have been personally held responsible once that warrant was in place. I would have been personally held responsible for the amount. Eventually, a jury got together, a jury of people who were generally anti-slavery themselves, and determined that, yeah, he did what he had to do. Don't be too harsh on him. And he resigned shortly thereafter. He was back on the job as marshal before long, but also spending most of his time doing railroad stuff, from what I can tell. Was in charge of General Grant's personal finances for a long time, and was marshal again, apparently without incident after this. So there's such a lot going on here, I still can't figure out exactly what the story was. There's a lot of conflicting accounts of things, and clearly a lot of things got buried. The Tribune themselves announced that his wife had received a silver plate from the group of commerce a couple of weeks before, and then they were mistaking that as a reward from slave catchers in their own paper a couple of weeks later. So sometimes the actual details of these things can be kind of hard to parse, and a lot of times when they've been parsed before, nobody really got to looking at all of the papers to see what went on. So, all right. Anyway, none but live men are attended. I'm wearing my whistle right now. I'm doing a couple of shifts a day. We just like to think we're more deterrents than anything else, and hopefully it'll just remain boring around the neighborhood. But all right, thanks everybody for joining me. I'm Adam from Mysterious Chicago Tours. Tomorrow, should I do a drunk history thing tomorrow? I still need to pick up something to do for the tour tomorrow night. I'll be home. Let me know. I haven't done drunk H.H. Holmes in a while. I haven't done a drunk ghost tour in a while. That's one way to promote the upcoming bus tours that I need to sell a few more tickets on. But all right, thanks everybody for joining me. I'm Adam for Mysterious Chicago Tours. If anybody could put in the comments right about now what I ought to do tomorrow night for the virtual tour. This week's a little less insane with busyness than last week was. But guys got to do something to stay warm, right? I'll let Ember stare you down a second as she stretches. I tend to make the best tips off of those drunk ones. All right, drunk ghost it is. I will put that up later on. So thanks everybody for joining me. I'm Adam from Mysterious Chicago Tours, telling everybody stay safe, stay strong, and of course, if you